Grace couldn't sleep. The rain had finally stopped, but the wind was still howling, a lonely sound that swept across the open fields. From her window, she kept her binoculars trained on Kevin's house, a dark silhouette against the bruised grey sky. She'd seen someone earlier, standing on his porch, a tall figure wrapped in a hooded raincoat, just standing there, motionless. The moment she texted Kevin to ask if he was okay, the figure vanished, and now his house was completely dark. It had been an hour since the police left, an hour of her stomach twisting into knots. They'd told her they found nothing unusual. Those were their exact words, nothing unusual. But that wasn't true. Through the binoculars, she'd seen them carry out a large black bag. A bag she had never seen before, a bag that looked heavy. Nothing unusual felt like a lie, a very big, very loud lie. She couldn't just sit here, she needed to know what happened to Kevin. Putting on her jacket and pulling on her boots, she decided to go over there herself. The road was a mess, thick with mud that seemed to want to swallow her footsteps whole. It was slow going. Her flashlight flickered, casting long dancing shadows that played tricks on her eyes as she walked the long, winding path to Kevin's front door. The porch light, the one he always left on for her, was off. That alone sent a shiver down her spine. She stood on his porch for a long moment, listening to the wind and the pounding of her own heart. Taking a deep breath, she raised her hand and knocked. A firm, solid knock, knock, knock. Silence. The only response was the creak of the wind through the trees. She tried the doorknob. It wasn't locked. The door swung open just a little, inviting her into the darkness. "Kevin," she called out, her voice sounding small and shaky. "Kevin, are you in there?" Still nothing. Just an unnerving, heavy silence. She pushed the door open wider and stepped inside. Her flashlight beam cut through the gloom, revealing a scene that was both perfectly normal and deeply wrong. Everything looked just as it should. A book lay open on the couch, face down, as if he'd just set it aside. A cup of tea half finished sat on the small table beside it, a pale wisp of steam still rising from the surface. It looked like he had just stepped out for a moment, but then she saw them. Footprints, wet, muddy footprints, leading from the front door down the hallway. They were the same size as Kevin's boots. Her light followed the trail, which led deeper into the house. They stopped abruptly, right in front of the large ornate mirror that hung by the back door. Grace aimed her flashlight at the mirror's surface, and her breath caught in her throat. She gasped. The mirror was cracked, a web of fine lines spread across the glass. But they weren't just random cracks. Up close, they looked ... deliberate. They looked like fingerprints pressed into the glass from the other side. As if on cue, her phone buzzed in her pocket, the vibration startling her so much she almost dropped her flashlight. She fumbled to get it out. A new message. It was from Kevin. Her heart leaped with a strange mix of relief and terror. She opened it. The message was short. Just 6 words. Grace, don't look in the mirror. Her hand started to tremble uncontrollably. She looked at the timestamp. The text was sent just 1 minute ago. He was close. He had to be. But where? Why wouldn't he answer her? Just then, the flashlight in her hand flickered violently. For a split second, the beam dimmed, and in that moment, the reflection in the cracked mirror shifted. She saw it. She saw something, someone standing right behind her in the reflection, a tall figure with a face twisted into a horrifying wide smile. A scream got caught in her throat. The flashlight slipped from her trembling fingers and clattered to the floor, plunging the hallway into absolute darkness. The next morning, the neighbors found Grace's car abandoned on the side of the muddy road. Her phone was still on the passenger seat, its screen cracked just like the mirror. It was open to one last unread message. A message from Kevin sent at 3:12 a.m. It said, "It's your turn to answer the knock." Curiosity is a powerful thing. It pushes us to seek answers, to uncover secrets. But sometimes the things we're curious about are better left unknown. Sometimes curiosity doesn't lead to answers. It just opens a door that can never be closed again. Thank you so much for watching part 2. I know it's a chilling one. If you're as hooked as I am, and you need to know what happens next, what the police uncover about Kevin and Grace's disappearance, let me know in the comments. And if you enjoyed this story, please hit that like button and subscribe so you don't miss what's coming next. Stay safe out there and maybe think twice before answering that knock.